Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer the Elemental Energy bonus reading for the Elemental Energy of Air for the month of May 2025. These messages are timeless, they're general readings, so take what works, leave the rest for someone else. And air is the energy that covers Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you are Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your charts, then this message is for you. If you've never had your charts read, or you're just interested in seeing what could be there is a link in the description. It's not an affiliated link or anything like that, but it's just a really fun tool to get a little bit more clarity about what all those signs and symbols mean. You'll get your base 12 houses with all the extras in it, and then there's a 10 to 20 page description of what all that means, in addition to having an elemental reading in that. And from personal experience, when I had got mine a couple years ago, the elemental part was actually a little bit more accurate at the time than the rest of like the outside of the moon and sun signs. The rest of it was a little bit more obscure to my mind at the time, but the elemental one was really accurate. So if you're interested, you can check that out in the link. Otherwise, we're going to get started. For the bonus readings, I like to do just a general Celtic cross. Gives us a nice baseline of where everything's at and what kind of energy is moving around. So for air, your significator, this is who you are in totality in the moment, which is the Nine of Wands. So you're working with your brother energy here, fire, so this is a similar energy, but the Nine of Wands is saying you've achieved a lot. There still are some challenges, but what I'm hearing is you're right on the cusp of something major changing and shifting for you. You're aware that there's something about to come to a close, and what's coming to a close is something you've been waiting for, you've been kind of pushing towards. But what energy in this moment is you feel it very strongly, is you're not sure how it's going to pan out. You know it has to happen because everything's come to this point, but you're not sure exactly where that shift is going to occur. But you know with that fire energy, this is going to be something that you've been working towards. Your passions are stirred up in, and you're tied to it. So it's just a matter of, what is my next step? We're almost there. What more do I need to add to this, or what do I need to get out of the way to let this happen? So the thing that is crossing you, the energy that is working kind of against you in the moment, your obstacle, is the Two of Swords. So you're definitely dealing with some secrets, something that is unknown, that is not coming to light. And they're saying this is something that you might actually even be not being honest with yourself about. So this could be something that you know what the situation is, but you're like, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. It's still there. But that's kind of that challenge that's coming forward for you this month, is you know what has to happen. Like, you know that there's this, everything's piling up. You're at that tipping point about to break loose, but what's in the way is something that you're choosing to not acknowledge, kind of like an illusion being put up in front. So it's definitely, the energy is saying, figure out or try to remember or acknowledge what's in the way. That way you can move it and actually move forward. Your higher self, that's interesting, you have two fires already, is the Six of Wands. There is, you're carrying a water soldier, but the Six of Wands is saying there has been success in the past. Your higher self in this energy is saying, look, you've done all the things. You've overcome so much. There's no reason that you can't move forward. As this dragon has succeeded over his water soldier, meaning you've overcome even the smallest obstacle all the way up to the biggest ones. They're cheering for you at this point, meaning everyone, your guides, your guardians, including people within your physical circle, they're all saying, you've got this. Why are we being like, what's slowing down? Because even other people can tell there's something that's not finishing, but you are in the process of completing it. So that's that challenge of, what's in the way? What is it you know what's there in one part of you anyway, but are you willing to remove that part so you can move forward? Your shadow is saying the Two of Pentacles. So this is Earth. This is your opposite energy. And what I'm getting with this one is there's a partnership that you may be ignoring in the moment. There's something that's coming, and I don't know if it's a personal relationship, they're not saying personal or business, but there's a relationship aspect here that is you're pushing away. You don't want to deal with this. This is your shadow, your subconscious. There's something that is coming forward to be like, look, I want to help, and you're like, get off me, I don't need you. It's not saying that you don't need them. Maybe you need the encouragement, maybe you need the support. Or this could also, being it's a shadow, could be a critic that is coming forward to be like, this actually isn't working for you. So your shadow energy is saying there's something that's coming up, and it's in a partnership type energy is what I'm hearing, that is pushing against you and you're refusing to listen. But being it's a shadow, it's usually bringing up something that you need to listen to in the moment, at least figure out why it's being brought up. And that's what the shadow's bringing forward at the moment. Your immediate history, the last 30 days up to a year, 30 days, 6 months, or a year, is the Eight of Swords. Your history, you got tangled up. You were so wrapped up in your own thoughts, in your own plans, that you forgot that there's other ways out. The vines are only holding because you are letting them hold you. This is your history. So what was going on was a struggle of your own design. It wasn't something that someone brought into you and tied you up and said, you can't do this. This was your history of the last 30 days, 6 months, or a year. It was you got wrapped up in something that you thought you knew how to handle, and then you tied yourself up in it, and it took a little bit to figure out how to get out of it. But the swords are going to cut through those vines really quick, and that's how you escaped that. Was you went from allowing the emotions to dominate to being like, hold up, this is what I'm doing, and all of a sudden those vines just got severed, because it really was just an illusionary trap anyway. But it was one that kind of was designed by you, unfortunately. But now you're in that Nine of Swords, or Nine of Wands, sorry. And that's saying that you're ready to move forward. You're almost there. You're at that pinnacle. There's just one more thing that's not quite where it needs to be. Your future is the Eight of Cups. There's something mysterious coming in for you. Could be the next 30 days, 6 months, or a year. And there's something mysterious, and they're saying that this is actually, in this aspect for you, it's saying that this is actually going to be a positive response. There's something coming in, but you're going to have to listen to your intuition. Air, that's not your strong point, unfortunately, but it is something that you can work with. It's not saying that you don't have it, you just don't use it very often. The Eight of Cups is saying there's something to do with the intuition, the lunar energy. You might check, if you have your charts done, what your moon sign is, if there's some water tied up there or some kind of an emotional energy tied into it. But your future is saying it may not be the clearest, but you're going to be more fulfilled emotionally going forward. So whatever it is that you are on the pinnacle of, you're ready to tip over into that next level, it's going to be tied to an emotional outcome, whether that is neutral or good. They're saying it's going to be a positive outcome, don't get me wrong, but it's not clear for you right now, but your intuition is what's going to guide you through it. So your attitude, this is how your thought process is in the moment, is the Ace of Pentacles. You are ready to start building a home. You are ready to start settling down, and that is where this Nine of Wands energy, where you stand in the moment, is the totality of you is saying we're almost there. The Ace of Pentacles is saying you are so ready to start this next phase of your life. And when we talk about Pentacles, we're talking about earth energy. So this is, again, your opposite, but you want that stability, you want that foundation, you want that. And they keep going back to the home thing. So the abundance and prosperity aspect of earth is tied in, but you are ready to settle down and have that household. You're ready to move into that situation, new house, new apartment, whatever it is, where you can base from and move up if you so choose. But there's really this energy where your attitude is, where you personally are feeling that I'm ready just to stop the runaround and get stable. So the outside influences, things that are outside of your control that could be influencing you, is the Page of Swords. Still with that kind of a new beginning energy, but it's a different form. This is saying you've already been there, you've already done that, you know what it takes to get where you need to go. The Page of Swords is, he's matured, but he's not an adult yet. But he still has a sword. The sword is no longer being used for battle because there's a butterfly up there. So you're in this position where if you have to step back into the arena, so to speak, Air, you've got the ability to do this. This is not a mystery to you anymore. But you don't feel that it's necessary in this moment. So you are kind of battle hardened, battle weathered, but the outside world is saying, but you don't need that anymore. You see where you've come. You've already overcome the illusion of being trapped from your immediate history. You are in the position currently where you know you're just about there. You're almost to that completed state. And your obstacle is literally something that you know about or are aware of. And now it's, are you willing to deal with it? And the outside world is saying, just deal with that, get it out of the way, and things will move forward for you pretty rapidly. So, your hopes and fears, the Seven of Swords. It's interesting that the negatives here have all been air, and that's your energy. So, so basically, it's one of those where you need to look in the mirror and see what's going on, because the outside world is generally, in this reading right here, is not so much the one that's causing the trip. It's something that you are, something to work through. It's not saying it's negative, just definitely giving you the heads up that things aren't always what they seem, and pointing the finger at the other person is actually probably pointing it back at you. And that's, again, we're not talking negatives here. It's just something, you've done the work, now it's time just to get out of the way and let the universe do its thing. So, your hopes and fears are the Seven of Swords. 7 is a perfect number, so this is more of a lesson or a tap on the shoulder reminder energy. And what we're getting here is, this is how much you've already accomplished. You have already done the things. You've already gotten to this point. You've got someone in this hopes and fears energy that's coming in, and you think they're trying to steal what you've acquired. And your hope is that you can beat them up. Well, you can deal with anything that's coming in, Air. But your fear is that this person or this situation is going to steal your joy. Put your focus on, I've already got this. They're just coming in to see what I'm doing. They're not going to come here to steal. Because if you focus on that fear, they're going to steal your joy, or the situation's going to steal your joy, that's probably what's going to happen. So put your attention on, yeah, you can check it out. Look what I've accomplished so far. This is pretty cool. And you're hoping that it continues to build on that pattern. You're hoping to continue to elevate through that. And the other person is going to watch, and this is your hope, that watch what you do and be inspired by it, so that you're not allowing that fear to hop in there. You're putting the hope in. See what I'm doing. You can do this as well. Here's how I did it. So you can actually step into a teaching role with this energy, which is pretty cool. So the overall outcome of our tarot here is the Queen of Wands. So this is divine feminine energy, and it's also saying that seeds that have been planted are coming to fruition. If you notice, the egg here is starting to hatch. So the Queen of Wands is bringing forward this energy of, you've put in the work, you've done all the things, you have supported, you have built, you have overcome obstacles, you're focusing on the correct path, and now it's time to step into your authority. You have your shadow down here being like, dude, don't ignore what your shadow is bringing forward to help you with. The shadow wants to bring up that there's someone or a situation who is trying to reveal the answers to you, and that's also what we got going on here, because he's sneaking up to try to give her the answers. So you've got this energy of the answers are available to you. You've got help. It's a matter of being willing to listen to it, which is not always the easiest thing. But overall, your energy going forward for the month of May, this bonus reading, is very positive. There's a little bit of work to do because you're almost at that cusp, but there's some clarity that's just not there yet. And they just keep bringing this up. Air, you know what needs to be done. You know the situation. You know what's going on. So now it's just a matter of stepping into that. So the underlying energy here is the Six of Pentacles. So this is, again, earth energy, your opposite. But there is this energy that's underlying this is, you've been very generous with what you have achieved so far. And in a lot of ways, that has set you up for success. That's set you up for where you're at. Now is the time to bust the illusion that is stopping you. Because you have this feeling right now, and this is just what my guides are bringing in. You have this feeling right now that You've achieved what you're allowed to achieve, and you don't think you can go any further. The Six of Pentacles in this energy is saying, don't go there. You've achieved what you've achieved so far. There's so much more available to you. There is so much more open door availability for you that now it's time to tear that sheet down, that illusion that's saying, no, you can't go any further, and allow yourself the gift of moving into that higher state. The underlying thing, which actually is kind of fun because it ties into the Queen, is you've already done so much to help others, to guide others, to provide, that the Queen is now stepping in to say, your outcome is now providing for yourself. You have those helping you because that's what's needed to continue forward. But because of that, you're able to provide better for yourself. You've done the work to share what you know, to help expand other people, but now it's time to kind of reward yourself, is what I'm hearing. So that's where that mystery of the Eight of Cups comes in your future. Is the future is unknown, it's emotional, and it could be very intuitive for you, but there's going to be either neutral or betterment coming in. It's how are you going to play with this energy? So with that, before we hop into our oracle cards, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment down below any thoughts, feelings, or impressions. Just let me know what you are thinking about with these. So when I do the oracle cards, that card's about to jump out of my lap. I pull 3 cards, and you can look at these as answers to questions or further guidance from the reading itself. And if you're interested in the cards I'm using, they're linked in the description as well. And your first card is number 933, so a perfect number. Dances on one foot, the balancing act. Air. You have a lot of energy that comes in with you in duality or balance. With Gemini, it's the twins. With Libra and Aquarius, it's something is coming into balance by their symbols. Aquarius is the water bearer, but you still have this balancing energy that comes in there, because if you're out of balance, you'll spill all your water. So with dances on one foot, you're really saying, look at what you can accomplish. You're able to keep everything going, keep all of those multitasking energies going, but you're doing so with balance, with grace. If you've ever watched a ballerina out on the dance floor, male or female, doesn't matter, and you notice how they're in balance and they're in tune, where they're doing things that like any of us regular Joes or Janes are not going to get up on that stage and do. Like, absolutely not. But you, Air, have this ability to dance and to move and to be graceful with everything that you do. Air, your elemental being is the sylph. They're these fairy-like creatures that float on the breeze. This the 9 card, the dances on one foot, this is you in perfection. And so you are in this very, very positive state. The question energy is definitely on a positive side, but the message is saying, Air, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you put your confidence with it and use your natural gifts, you're going to be able to dance and amaze everyone else. Even if you're like, how did I do that? Doesn't matter. You have the natural talents to achieve whatever it is you desire. So your card number 2 is the Lost Compass, number 35, getting back to integrity. Air, one of your gifts, one of your talents, one of your brutal truths is you are the elemental energy of the sword. That is a truth device. It is cutting away the illusions. So when you do that, you have to carry a level of integrity so that you don't hurt other people. The Lost Compass, getting back to integrity, you need to be truthful with yourself in an appropriate manner. Don't be brutally honest all the time, because that gets a little painful and that can drive people away. You have, through this reading, it's come up that you have been a kind of a guiding light for other people, and you have been able to teach and show. So when you're doing that, your ego has to take a second seat. Like, you get back there, we don't need you anymore. Because getting back to integrity, if you allow the ego to take the forefront with what you've been teaching or how you're demonstrating it, it's going to be like, I'm so much better than everyone else, and you're not. Sorry, Air, to be a little blunt with you. You're not any better than anyone else. You are special in your own unique way, which is very true, and that's an amazing thing to celebrate. But getting back to integrity, you're doing the right thing for the right reasons. One friend of mine loves to use the phrase, and I agree, when you show integrity, you're doing the right thing when no one is looking. So you want to make sure that as you are doing that guidance, your conscience is there. You're helping people for the right reasons. If that person cannot handle the teachings, you're going to maybe dissuade them from taking that path, because it's not, don't cast your pearls before swines. There's all sorts of fun little things we can phrase this with. But with this second card, it's definitely saying it's a waiting game and a maybe game for question answers type stuff, but it's also saying you know the truth, and as long as you hold tight to that, everything will show you the correct path. Was it going to be easy? Probably not, but will it help you grow and expand? Very much so. Your last card is number 29, the Horned Cactus with Resourcefulness. This is kind of a fun card because it's like angry devil cactus. But with this one, it's saying, you have the ability, you have all the tools you need. You can compare this one in one sense to the Magician in the Major Arcana, because you have all the tools, you have all the gifts, you've achieved a great deal of self-knowledge, and that is allowing you to step forward and do the things you need to do. The Horned Cactus with Resourcefulness is also saying you have the ability, Air, and I've watched this with air signs before. You have this ability to take a problem and look at it from a non-distracted point, like take the ego out of the picture and just look at the situation. And instead of looking at the problem as a whole, you're looking at how to fix it. What's the solution? And that shows a great deal of resourcefulness, a great deal of knowledge, and a great deal of wisdom that is tied into your elemental energy. So it's interesting that your oracle cards, this last little section here, is all about air. Use your natural talents. Use the gifts that God Source Divine has granted you. This is going to work out the best for you as long as you're tapping into that. And number 29, Resourcefulness, the Horned Cactus is saying, you've got all of this. You may not remember it all the time, and that's fine, but don't forget you have it for a reason. And in some ways that makes air a little bit prickly to other people because you're so truthful with most of the things that you talk about. And that can be a little bit of a turnoff to some people, but that's a gift. That's a talent. If the people that can't deal with the truth that you're speaking, gentle or otherwise, that's because they're not ready to hear the truth. And that's as simple as that can be. So, with that, I will let you guys go. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video.